This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So see here, like we are getting into an administration from today. So here we are going to discuss all about uh, first thing, introduction to Red Hat. So basically, Red Hat is one company. They provide enterprise Linux, right? So like Red Hat, many companies are there in this, okay, in this world. But why Red Hat? Okay, there are many reasons. Because Red Hat is a company, whatever the enterprise Linux they provide, okay, and it can be used, uh, on any hardware, with any software, with any tool. This is a benefit here, right? So how it is possible, we will see this, right? So basically, Red Hat is Red Hat Linux assembled by a company called Red Hat and was popularly Linux-based operating system. And the earlier release of Red Hat Linux was called as Red Hat Commercial Linux previously. You know, Red Hat also used to provide the operating system commercial. It is called commercial Linux, and Red Hat started first publishing its software in 1994, 3rd November 1994. They started, right? And from 1994, they started releasing Red Hat Commercial Linux version 1, version 2 like this. But what they did is from version 3, that is nothing but from 2003 onwards, they replaced this name called Commercial Linux to Enterprise Linux, right? We have something called Red Hat Enterprise Linux. There is no desktop version, there is no server version. It is purely called Enterprise, right? So whenever I just say Enterprise means, the way of using will change, right? So enterprise means like take an example, banking sectors, telecommunication sectors, or you talk about any other organizations, right? Government or semi-government, or we talk about something about stock exchanges, right? There are many different types of organization. They started using this Red Hat Linux. But what happened, like up to Red Hat 6, I'm telling you, up to Red Hat 5, especially Red Hat Linux was used only for mail servers, majorly, majorly for mail servers, and it is used for proxy server, it is used for web servers, and it is majorly used for installing Oracle databases, right? When you go 10 years back, Oracle database was running 99%, 90% of all your databases, Oracle database, Oracle related products used to be running on the Linux only, right? So up to Red Hat 5, I'm telling you, even 6 also we can say up to 6. But from 6, the market got changed. You know why? Why? Because there was an operating system with the name called Solaris, which was the vendor was Sun Microsystem. What happened? Sun Microsystem, that company has undertaken by Oracle in 2011. Getting it? As the Oracle has undertaken this company, and what happened now? They stopped using this Oracle applications on Linux, and they started using it on the Unix operating system that is called Solaris. Okay, so this is the major reason why the market got changed here, right? And one more thing here is, as Unix was ruling the entire IT industry up to 2009, 2010, but from 2009 onwards only the market was coming down, and because a lot of recessions came, inflations, right? So people were not able to manage the things. That's the reason what happened is people are looking for alternative for a Unix, right? People thought of going for AIX, and I will tell you, AIX, IBM AIX is also same. It is also very costly as operating system. And suddenly they looked into Red Hat Linux, and then compared to all the Linux flavors, Red Hat Linux was having some good name and good standards in the market. So immediately, most of the people who are starter companies are running with 10, 15 servers, 20 servers, right? They started, adopting this Linux, right? So they are reducing the cost of the operating system here. They started using it. Like this, Linux came into an existence, right? Linux was used more. Now, if I want to tell you, I will tell you like a major around 70 to 80% of companies they have moved their entire environment to Linux. Okay, you will not see even one Unix boxes inside their company. They totally replaced it, right? So this is what happened, right? So there are many reasons to migrate to, I mean, when they're using Linux also, they stick to Linux because of some benefits here. What are the benefits? Like Red Hat Linux or Linux operating system. First of all, it's an open source, not Red Hat Linux. Linux is open source. Development was happening very fastly. First thing. Second thing is being an open source. What happened? The solutions are very easy here, right? And the third thing here is the cost of the operating system is less than compared to Unix, right? Okay. And Red Hat company, what they are doing is they have a partnership with all the software and hardware vendors all over the world, right? So as they have a partnership with all these vendors, what Red Hat is saying, whenever I release some new software, okay, a new release, new version, then they ask, Red Hat will ask them every hardware and software vendors to test their application on this, right? Okay, they just want to make sure that whether their application or hardware is integrating with the operating system in good manner, like we will call it as a handshaking performance, right? So for that reason, people used to do a lot of testing, and because of these reason only, you connect anything to your Linux box, it 100% suits, it 100% works. Okay, performance wise or anything you can say. This is the reason, right? And when it comes to the in 2013, half of the 2013, maybe after July and August, they introduced the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7. And you know that whenever not only Red Hat, if we talk about Windows or Unix, anything, first when they release a new version into the market, they will release a beta version, right? Okay, so as we see the beta version is like a testing version. So after releasing the testing version, they release the original version exactly in 2014. If I want to tell you, like this only, when I just talk about Red Hat 8 is introduced in this year only 2019 and the Jan somewhere they released it, right? Now we also have Red Hat 1 also is there in the market, right? So you will ask me what is this one Red Hat 1, what is version and release? In Windows we call it as a releases, right? Or service packs. When it comes to the client operating system, we call it as a service pack. When it comes to the server operating system, we call it as a release. Getting my point? Okay. So you should understand what is this version and release, right? So very simple. 7 is a major. Version to version change means it's a major change. Below the version, we have a releases. Release is a minor change, we can say, right? So basically, if I talk about Red Hat 6, I will just try to show you a life cycle management of the Linux here. I'm having one chart. Can you see this? This is a, life cycle management of the, uh, or timeline, release timeline of the Red Hat Linux. Can you see this? So you can see we have a 6, right? 6 has totally up to 2017, it was 9 releases we have. And if you want to know more about this, what we will do, we'll go into the Google. Uh, Red Hat Linux, Red Hat Linux release history, or release timeline, if you say, we will try to come. So when I just go with this article here, so I'll just try to show you. So I just come down here. So let me show you something about version 6 here. So when I'm just talking about version 6, 6 was introduced somewhere in 2010. Can you see this? Right? And actually 2006, 2010 it is was introduced, 2011. So you see how much difference we have. 2010 11th month and 2011 fifth month, almost 6 months. In every 6 months you can see that there is one release, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. Can you see this? This is a difference. So up to Red Hat 6, when I just talk about Red Hat 6, okay, 6.10, the last release that was introduced in the market is 2018 06, right? So from here they stopped the releases 2018, they stopped it. Then what they did, they are going right now with only 7, right? You can see the 7 has totally 7.7 releases we are having, and 8 was released somewhere in, I mean 8 was released somewhere in Jan only, but you can see this 19507, and they introduce a new release somewhere in 11th, right? So what is the differences? Can you find any differences here? What is a kernel version here, right? So you can see this is a kernel major version, this is a minor version. Release, we call it as a release, right? You see, is there any change in the version? No, in the release only we have a change. Can you see this, right? And one more thing, you're experiencing any noise back end? Hello, are there?
Hello, can you hear?
Yeah, are you
No, no, no,
hearing any noise? Nothing, right? Everything is
no.
okay,
Yeah,
right? So fine. This is like when you just click on this, they are going to give you some information. Take an example. We have some notes here. Take an example. We have a 7.7. You just click on this. What is this? Red Hat release, reg date. So I'll just click on this. It is going to give you a detailed information about it. Okay. So bug fixing advisor. So you can see this, how exactly it is going to work. Right? So this is all about affecting the product. This is the thing. And this is a fixes. Can you see this? This is all the fixes we have. So
yeah.
when you just go with this, it is going to fix all these problems here, right? If you want to
Mm,
read more about this, I need to just click on this fix. When I just click on this particular fix, okay, then it
okay,
shows you the detailed information. Give me 1 minute, please.
okay, okay.
Right. So you can see here, it is clearly giving you information here how exactly it is going to fix. So it is giving you some information, NFS client. So this fix is going to fix the problem in NFS. Can you see this? You can just read all these things, right? So this all some important things that you need to look in, right? So whatever, like take an example, we just talk about Python related, or you talk about Red Hat release, or you take an example, Google Chrome related patch, right? So even Adobe Maps, PDF, so many things we have, right? So this is a thing, right? So is this clear, right? Okay. So this is all, and you can find all this information in this release document also, because for every release, Red Hat will provide you a release document. And in this release document, you have all the details about what are the problems they are going to fix with this release. First thing. Second thing is
Oh,
they are going to give you information about like what are the new features they introduce in this release. They are going to give you all this information, right? So this is all about the timeline or a life cycle management of the versions and release. And how do we know that whether which version or which release here? So this is the file you need to read. Okay. So let me connect to the
okay.
remote machine. Give me 1 minute. I'll just try to connect. So as we come into administration, right? So from here onwards, we
Mm,
will be doing everything as a root, not as a student.
okay.
Even you connect as a
Mm,
student also, you need to switch to the root immediately if you want to perform any admin task, right?
okay.
So I'll just put the password here. I'm into the machine, right? So this is the file etc Red Hat release. So this is a file. It is giving clearly that Red Hat Enterprise Linux release 8.0, right? So this is the thing. Okay. So now, like, let me take you into the uh, file here. So this is how exactly we are going to know the information. You can run uname-a also. That is also going to give you the information. Okay, uname-a also gives you information. You can see this. This is a kernel release,
Yeah,
kernel
kernel
version it
version.
is, and this is nothing but
Mm,
a release, right?
mm,
So this is the thing.
mm.
Okay, and this is nothing but date and time of the version.
Okay.
So this is the thing. So now everything is fine. Uh, this is basically, I'll just try to put this link to you so that on the chat, where is the chat? You can just have a look later. Right. So this is the basic information here. And one more thing here is when you go to the access.redhat.com, let me take you to the access.redhat.com here. So this is one of the important site that you need to look at, right? When you go to the access.redhat.com, you see there is something called my subscription, registration assistance, open AK, support case, contact. Can you see this, right? Take an example, I'll just go with as I go here. So I want to go for troubleshooting and product issues for Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Can you see this? I just click on
Yeah,
this. As I click on this, it asks you a login. Can you see this? So if you don't have a login,
yeah,
it will not allow you. So recently you have created
mm,
one account, right? Did
yeah,
you create any account? Yeah. So if you created an
yeah,
account using that username and password, you need to log into it, right? Then you try to say that, right? But as we have gone through right now, a self-support account, getting my point.
okay.
We have just
Mm,
gone with it because we have done a personal account, right? Not corporate account, right?
mm,
So as
yeah,
we gone through a self-support, I mean, personal account that comes under a self-support account we have created, right? So as we went to a self-support account or personal account, so it will be a 60 days evolution, right? So within this
mm,
60 days, you can get some updates, not all the updates. They will
mm,
not give you a critical update. They will give you up to an intermediate level updates they will give you, right?
okay.
So like,
Mm,
when you are using a trial version of antivirus, they give you a 30 days updates, right? Automatically.
yeah,
After 30 days, they ask you to buy the subscription to take it up, to make that
yeah,
updations, right? Here also same thing. What Red Hat is saying is 60 days you can take intermediate level updates. You can fix all your problems. There is no issue, right? But after 6 days, 60 days, if you really need a update to fix some problems, then you have to buy the subscription. Okay, so this is basically how it is going to work, right? So this is the things, right? So now let me take you into another things here. So the policies here, you can, there is a lot of information. So here Red Hat Lifecycle Management here. How actually there will be something like a full support and maintenance support. Can you see this? Okay. So we just
yeah,
talk about whenever you talk about any product, actually there will
mm,
be three types of supports if I want to tell you. First is a full support, second is a
okay.
maintenance support, and third is a
Mm,
extended life phase we call, right?
okay.
So every version will have this kind of support. We will have it. For example, you talk
Okay.
about Red Hat 6, Red Hat 7, Red Hat 5, Red Hat 6, Red Hat 7. Right now they are running in a something called, extended life support, I think. Okay, you can see this. Red Hat offers a subscription service for each major releases. Red Hat Enterprise to the four life cycle phases called full support, maintenance support one, maintenance support two. Also, they are providing, and they are providing extended life phase. This is a total four types of supports. Remember, but we are able to see only okay here it is there. So maintenance one here, this is a maintenance one support. This is
Yeah.
maintenance support one is only for 1 year, right?
Uh, mm,
Maintenance support two is nothing but 3.5 years, and
oh,
extended phase will be only 2 years. I think it should be 2 years, right? Yeah, extended life support should be 2 years, I hope, because yeah, it is 2 years. But here it is only 1 year they are giving it. But for version 8, I think it is 2 years they are giving it. Okay, so this is how exactly it is going to work. Okay, and you need to just get into this all informations. So what are the techniques? What they are going to technical support, full support, unlimited. Can you see this for version 8, extended life? Okay, so this is all the things. Okay, so this is, can you see this how they are going to go? So right now they have give you the entire Red Hat 8 planning guide here, how they are going to give you releases, right? Right now we have Red Hat 8.1 in the market. So as we just seen that 2019 11 they released the 8.1, right? And they released the 8.1. Right. And I hope after April, May, June, July, maybe June, July, they will release the 8.2. Like this, it will go up to how many years? Up to 2023, they are going to provide you 8.8, right? And this blue color will give you a minor release for every 6 months, give you a minor every 6 months. And this light blue is going to give you sky blue, which is there. It is nothing but extended support, updated support, and update service for SAP solutions. This is a little bit creamish or yellowish color, whatever we are saying, right? So this is how exactly it is going to work. And they gave you end of the, 7.1 ends at 2017, 7.2 ends at November, like this they gave you. Can you see this? So this is another important thing here. So this is for every version. Can you see this? This is for every version. End of the maintenance. You take an example, end of the maintenance support and maintenance support 2. For version 7, you can see this. It is up to 2024. Can you see this? Right? And as I
yeah.
want to give you one more information here, Red Hat Linux can be installed on many different hardware platforms. So you will say what is meant by many different hardware platforms is nothing but right now we are going with right now we are installing on laptop or desktop, right? So we are
Yeah.
using something called something i3, i7, i9 processors, right? So which comes under x86, right? Getting it. Apart from this, when you go to the real industry, when we talk about servers, we talk about Dell servers, HP servers, or any servers. In that, we don't have a i3, i5, i7 processor. There we have a processor with the name called what? Xeon,
Okay.
right? Okay. So this is a Xeon processor we have, and this is totally especially designed for server processor here,
Okay.
right? Server processor we call it as, right? So this is what we are going to say, right? So Red Hat Linux by default supports this, but apart from this, it also supports IBM Power hardware also. Did you heard about IBM Power, right? Or
Yeah.
we call it
Mm,
as a P series servers. P series servers for like basically we use these P series servers for running what? AIX, IBM AIX. Even these servers are by default supported for Linux also. You can install Linux on this, right? Apart from this, you can also install this Linux operating system on IBM, Z series servers. IBM or Z series. IBM Z series is nothing but Z Z series servers. So you know for what purpose this Z series is used? Mainframes, right? Even on this also you can install, you know, Linux operating system. And apart from this, I hope apart from this, I hope Itanium also it will support. I hope Itanium or I don't know like what is this ARM stands for. It should be Itanium processor also. Okay, even Itanium also it will support. Okay,
okay.
getting it. So this is a different platform which is going to support because I will show you that in installation document we have in that.
Mm,
Let me give me one example. Yeah, here it is. Can you see this? Itanium processor. Able to see this?
Mm.
Okay. x86 means it is 32-bit, nowhere used. 32-bit
Mm.
is nowhere used because right now only 64-bit is used and power is used and IBM Z series is used and Itanium isn't used. But we very rarely see these Itanium processors because I have worked on all these hardwares, right? Even I'm
Okay.
having a power series machine, I install Linux on that, I just checked it. Okay,
Okay.
whether really it is working or not, 100% it is going to work. There's nothing like that. Okay,
Mm.
okay, fine. So this is all the information here about this product life cycle management here and upgrades and like so for this for managing subscription download updates in the customer portal. So for this you need a login access, right? So, because there you will get a legalized documentation for updations, all these things you will get it, right? So, of course, we cannot go right now. If you just click on this learn more, you will see where it will take. So, here only it's coming again. Can you see this? So, you need to click on what request for an evaluation, or you need to click on download Red Hat, a green color button we have, right? Just click on this. It immediately take you to the login prompt. Can you see this? Okay. So I hope you register, right? If you're not registered, you just try to register yourself using
Yeah, yeah, I
a
registered
personal account
already.
and you just
Okay.
see, right? Yeah, then
Mm.
this is you can also find the knowledge base is also one of the key tab here. Knowledge base about like if you have some issues, you can click on the knowledge base. There will be a lot of discussions happening on the issues, right? Take an example. I'll just say LV create. I'm just putting there is some problem with LV create. So it will be listing you all the details here. Can you see this? LV creating a LV with wrong name when the LV name has something like hyphen. Okay. So what happens here? But I hope you will not be able to, it doesn't allow you to access the solution, I think. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Uh, yeah. LV create, this is a thing here. But if you're not able to access the solution here, can you see this? Because it is asking you a subscription here, right? So without subscription, it doesn't allow you to go into this. So this is if you have a subscription, take an example, your company has a subscription, you can take that username and password, you can see the solutions, right? So they will not charge any extra cost for this because already you have a subscription, everything comes under that only, right? If you're not able to have a subscription, also nothing to worry. You just try to read these questions. Okay, sometimes you may get say, solutions. Not here exactly. We have seen another site, right? That is called Bugzilla, I hope. So in Bugzilla, you can get it. So I hope you are aware of Bugzilla, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So for every operating system, we have a Bugzilla.
Mm.
Okay, right. I'll just try to this tabs. Right, like let me open. So like bug Bugzilla, redhat.com, right? So when I just click on this, you can see this. Okay, so this is a Bugzilla. Even for this also you need to log in that we will discuss later, right? So now let me give you a little information about. So I can just tell you, right, Red Hat Enterprise Linux is a high performance operating system that has delivered outstanding values for IT environment from last 2 decades or more than 2 decades, we can say, more than 25 years it is happening. Okay, and as the world's most trusted IT platform, Red Hat Enterprise Linux has deployed in a mission-critical applications at global stock exchanges, financial institutions, telecom, animated studios, and it also powers the websites of some of the most recognizable global and retail brands, we can say. And Red Hat Enterprise Linux provides you delivery, high performance, reliability, and security, and it's certified by the leading hardware and software vendors. Scales from workstation to the servers to the mainframes, provide a consistent application environment across the physical, virtual, and cloud deployments, right? And we all the key attributes here, like we have a stable and trusted platform, flexibility, and integrated virtualization. So whenever I just talk about integrated virtualization, as you know that when we talk about virtualization here, like we majorly use VMware Workstation or Oracle VirtualBox, right? So when I talk about Oracle VirtualBox is a free, right? It's an open source, but VMware Workstation is not free. You need to buy a license, right?
Mm.
So take an example. What Red Hat is saying is why you will invest on this VMware workstation if your company asks you to use if your company to use this because you can't use in the enterprise level companies a cracked license, right? A pirated one. No, you can't. So that's the reason what Red Hat is saying. Instead of doing a waste investment on this VMware workstation, they are saying that we provide you a default tool called KVM that is called Kernel Virtual Machine, which comes with your operating system. Getting my point, which comes with your operating system. Getting it? So it is free of cost. When you buy a license for your operating system, you can just use this KVM. They never ask you how many virtual machines you are going to deploy. They never ask you which platform. Platform means basically this KVM support only two platforms. One is Windows, another one is Linux, right? So I have seen in many companies, like when there is some development or testing is going on, they buy a high-end server. Okay, they try to use this KVM virtual machines only. They create 30, 40, 50 virtual machines on that, and they deploy. If they want Windows, they deploy Windows. If they want Linux, they deploy Linux. And Linux, not only Red Hat Linux, you can deploy any flavor of Linux, right? So this is the benefit here, right? And apart from this, I can just tell you, uh, and scalability and performance, security, and it can be used on physical, virtual, and cloud deployments, right? So after the Windows, you can see Linux or Red Hat Linux is most used operating system in this industry, right? And we have, when I talk about Red Hat Enterprise Linux, also provides you something called add-ons, and it also provides something called Linux variants, right? So add-ons is not that much special. Why? Because it is there, add-ons was there from long time. Because what is this add-ons, if you want to deploy Red Hat cluster, if you want to deploy global clusters, this software is coming only with your Red Hat Linux operating system only as a add-on. If you are aware of it, you just try to use it. It is also an evolution copy, right? If you are you have implemented something and it is working fine, later on you want to buy a subscription, yes, you can go with it, right? Apart from this, Red Hat Linux variants we call. See, variants is not, it's not a new concept, but maybe for Red Hat 7 onwards, it's a new concept, I can say, because before Red Hat 7, there is no concept of Red Hat variants, right? So what is this Red Hat variants? Who brought it? Basically, some other Linux open source operating system, they brought this concept called Linux variants. What is that? I will tell you. A small example. We talk about very regularly about SAP application. Take an example in your company, someone want to, your client is asking you to deploy the SAP, okay, on Linux. So if you want to deploy a SAP on the Linux, you have a SAP admin, right? If a SAP admin is there, that is not sufficient because you want to deploy the SAP on the Linux. So what you will do, you will buy a server, or if you're having already server, you will try to deploy the Linux. But deploying Linux is not sufficient to you, right? Because before you deploy a SAP, SAP will have a installation document on SAP installation on Red Hat Linux. There are some prerequisites will be there that you should be fulfilled.
Okay.
Yes or no? So for
Mm.
fulfilling that prerequisites, we need a Red Hat admin, Linux admin we need. If I don't
Mm.
have a Linux admin, so what we need to do from outside, some consultant or from some other company or from some other branch, we need to take the help to deploy all these things. Yes or no?
Okay.
That means
Mm.
you're paying some extra cost to the Linux admin, right? Yes or
Mm.
no? So that's
Yes.
the reason what some vendors did is very simple. they are preparing the Linux operating system in such a way it 100% suits for SAP, right?
Okay.
So what we will do, we will go to the Red Hat vendor. We will say that we are looking for Linux operating system for SAP. So they will
Mm.
recommend you to go with SAP, Red Hat Enterprise Linux for SAP. You just install this operating system. All the prerequisites that you need to install SAP will be pre-configured,
Mm.
right? So what we will do after installing this, we will just give a login to the SAP admin. SAP admin will log in, he install the application, he configures the application, give it to the team, right? So this is what. So here what happens, you're going to save a lot of money to your company. This is what happens here. And we will also get Red Hat Enterprise Linux for even for IBM Z systems, IBM Power Systems. Even you can use Red Hat Enterprise Linux for high performance computing. Also, you can use it for atomic host. There's so many things here. We are also having real-time Linux also. Nowadays, people are using this real-time Linux more. Okay, so this is the things here. And when I just talk about this is some of the features of actually see remember here I'm just putting 7 here, right? 7 to 8 there is no much changes, right? So no, okay, this is the thing here. And apart from this, I'll just give you some information. Um, 1 minute. Tech differences between RHEL 678. Actually, we can find the differences only 6 and 7. I hope 8 is not in the market at all because that should be provided by Red Hat. Okay, I hope here it is. Yeah. So this is just a discussion they are saying. I hope. Let me check. Changes in 6.7. Changes in 6.7, 7.8. Okay. Don't go into this. Okay, fine. I'll just give you that link. That's not a problem. So basically, when it just comes to the architecture, basically this is all the architecture it support. This is all the storages. This is the network speed it will support, right? Okay. Now actually 10 Gbps is already there in the market. People are going right now 40 Gbps, 100 GB per second also Ethernet, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
integrated virtualization we discussed that is called KVM, kernel virtual machine, right? And apart from this, there are so many add-ons that is there inside the Linux, right? And this is a release timeline we can say. And this is a technical differences between version 6, version 7. Can you see this? This is a thing, right? So you can see as per the version 7, this many processors it is going to support. Able to see this? Okay,
Yeah.
around 384 processors it is going to support. And but remember here, the technicalities, whatever we are seeing, they are providing these technicalities in two ways, as per the tested, as per the architecture, right? So they are giving 384 is nothing but tested, and 5120 as per the architecture, right? Getting it.
Yeah.
If you want to
Mm.
know here, they mark something called 7, right? 17. 17 is nothing
Mm.
but they gave you some keynotes here.
Mm.
They give you some keynotes here. You need to look into this. What is this 17 is saying? Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.2 or a few newer, or Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.7 or newer requires for 384 CPU support. Previous maximum support of CPU count for earlier versions were 288. What is 288? Red Hat 7.2 or 7.6 below. It is supporting 288 CPUs, right? And 7.2 new, please refer to the following. So memory, like you can see this. So these are all very important things because as a Linux administrator, we should have a technical limitations about the how many really how many CPUs it will support, how much memory it will support. You can see here, as per the tested, it is supporting 12 TB, but as per the architecture wise, 64 TB it will support, right? We talk about storage. Okay, storage speed we can say 1 GB minimum or 1 GB for a logical CPU, right? So this is a thing. And file system, you can see here, when I just talk about the file system here, basically, like if I want to tell you, ext2, ext3, and ext4 is also outdated right now from Red Hat 7 onwards. Why? Because in Red Hat 7, the default file system is XFS. XFS stands for Scalable File System. Remember that XFS stands for Scalable File System. So as it comes to this limitations here, you can just observe in Red Hat 7, it is going to support ext3 maximum file system size is 16 TB. Can you see this? Okay, and maximum file size is 2 TB, right? So because of this limitation only, they replaced, right, with the XFS. You can see this maximum file system size here is ext4 50 TB. Okay, 50 TB as per tested, but as per the architecture, it is 1 exabyte, right? So this is a thing, and a single file can grow up to 16 TB. Can you see this? Okay, and maximum subdirectories that you can create, how many? 65,000 are unlimited, we can say, right? So this is the things here. Hmm. And ACLs are supported here. Now when you come GFS, you are aware of GFS, I think. GFS stands for Global File System. We are going to use this global file system only for clusters. You know what is cluster, right? Two machines that provide one single service is called cluster. Getting it? And you can just see XFS here, a single maximum file size. A single file can grow up to how much? 500 TB. So very big size, right? Okay. And when I just talk about file system, also 500 TB. But as per the tested architecture wise, it's 60 exabyte and the file size is 8 exabyte. This is what exactly. And the rest of the things you can see this. And before we go into this, I will just try to tell you, did you see this maximum boot LUN size for BIOS?
Yeah.
Maximum boot LUN
Mm.
size for BIOS. Can you see this? So what
Mm.
is this maximum boot LUN size for BIOS? You know that right now, most of the people, you know that when you go to any hardware, we have a BIOS, right?
Yes.
Right? How do we get into the BIOS? What is the function key to get into the BIOS?
S2, S10
F2,
or
right?
something. Yeah.
F2 or Dell. Majorly we use it, right? So what you will do by getting into the BIOS?
To change
Basically, if
the,
I ask you what you do when you get into the BIOS, basically when I get into the BIOS, I want to see the hardware configuration, or if I
yeah,
want to enable,
system.
disable some hardware,
Yeah.
if I want to change the boot priority, or I want to do any other changes, then definitely I'll go into the BIOS, right?
Yeah.
Getting it. Take an example. Like you have one machine here, and on this particular machine, we have a local hard disk. This is my server. We have a local hard disk, right? Okay, we have two local hard disks. But take an example. If you have a local hard disk, you will try to install OS on this local hard disk. Yes or no? Right? And if this local hard disk is not sufficient, what you will do? You will try to get the storage from the some remote storage. That is maybe a SAN or iSCSI. Like this, you'll get it. Getting my point?
Yeah.
This is a storage, and this is my server, right? But take an example. If you don't have this local hard disk, then what you will do? Where I will install operating system is tough, right? So what happened is, as you know that any operating system in the current industry, that may be Windows, that may be Linux, that may be Unix, that has a capability to install on the remote storage. That is nothing but LAN. Take an example, you're getting from the storage, you're getting one LAN. This is my LAN. Okay. And you know what is a LAN size? Basically, this is BIOS, right? This is BIOS. BIOS will support max how much? 2 TB. Getting my point. But as you know that whatever the storage that you are getting in it from the SAN, it doesn't have any limit. You are asking them to provide a 10 TB storage. What they will do? They may provide 4 TB, 4 TB, or they may provide 5 TB, 5 TB, or they may provide total 10 TB as a one single LAN, right? Take an example, you are getting a 10 TB LAN here, or leave it 10 TB. I'm going to go with 4 TB. I'm getting one 4 TB LAN into a BIOS. Okay, but it is a 4 TB LAN, right? But the BIOS will show this 4 TB as what? 4 TB as a 2 TB. No problem, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right? So this is the limitation about the BIOS. So that's the reason what they did is they replace the BIOS with UEFI. They replace the BIOS with what? UEFI. Did you heard about UEFI anytime?
Yeah, yeah. There's
Did you
some
heard
mode
about
we can change.
U?
Yeah.
Yeah, UEFI stands for Unified Extended Firmware Interface. Unified Extended Firmware Interface. Now, whenever you are buying, not now exactly, from last 10 years, last not 10 years, 6, 7 years onwards, whenever you're buying a laptop, desktop, or a server, anything you buy, any hardware, servers, you are going to get UEFI only, not BIOS. Getting it? Most of the people they don't know it. They think that it is BIOS. Why? Because for BIOS and for UEFI, the function key is 1. Because the function key is 1, they think that it is BIOS only. No, it is not BIOS, it is UEFI. Then you will ask me how I will come to know. Because there will be clearly written. There will be clearly written that it is UEFI. But some people they are not aware of it. How do I identify whether it is a BIOS or UEFI? Very
Mm.
simple. Basically on UEFI firmware, your mouse also will work. It will be little bit graphics, right? In BIOS, your mouse doesn't work. Getting it? So this is the information. Any doubts here? Let me know, right?
Yeah.
So this is basically how. So when I just talk about UEFI, it supports a single run up to what? 50 TB. It's very big, right? Okay. So this is what happens, right? And when it comes down here, the kernel related things here, kernel version it is 3.10, GCC, this is language support, 22 language it will support, right? And KVM under evaluation here in 7. Okay, and there's so many things we have here, right? I think they are providing a LibreOffice here, which is a free office, right? Right now, when you install Windows, we go with MS Office, right? Microsoft Office, even that is not free, right? But you can
Mm.
go with LibreOffice, which is free, which is open source. If you want, you can use this LibreOffice even in Windows also, right? So this is what happens. These are all the features here. So these are all the technical limitations about 7. And if you want to know the technical limitations, like about the 8, I'll just try to share that also. Give me a minute. Uh, Technology capabilities. So let us see this. Okay, up to 8, I think they have given here. Yeah, yeah. Yes, here it is given. So I'll just try to share you this chat on the chat. Where is the chat? Okay, you can just click on this link to just find out. Okay, so here you can just see like between 7 and 8. So you can see how many processor here. You see the things has been changed totally. Okay, whatever we discussed here, you see here it is 384 processor only, right, or 7. But right now it is saying that it's 768, right? And this is 768
Yeah.
here also because it's a new
Yeah.
version, new release, right? So you can see architecture-wise memory, how much memory it is going to support up to 24 TB, right? And when
Mm.
you just come about uh, hard disk, 10 GB minimum, 220 GB is recommended. ext3, ext4 file system deal with GFS, XFS. XFS is going to support here up to 8 exabyte, and a single file can be 8 exabyte, and this file system size can be 1 petabyte, very big. 1 petabyte is nothing but 1024 exabyte is nothing but 1 petabyte. Okay, and storage also you can see. Okay, if it is BIOS 2 TB, if it is UEFI, it is supporting 8 exabyte. OS features, versions, you can see this. So this is all the important things that you need to look in. All right. So that's the thing. So find, uh, so this is all the technical limitations here. And now let me, now when I just talk about Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, we are talking, right? So whenever we talk about Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, this can be RHEL 8, RHEL 8, whatever the operating system we are having, RHEL 8. And you know, this can be installed. RHEL 8 can be installed in uh, you can say two ways. Okay, so one is text mode. Okay, we text mode only, we call it as a CLI, that is called command line. Text mode is nothing but CLI, it is called command line, right? And we have something called graphical mode, that is called GUI, right? So that is called graphic user interface. See, basically most of the time people get confused here, because I am installing operating system in text mode, I am getting text in, I mean text screen, right? That is called command line. Because I am installing the operating system in graphic mode, that is the reason I'm getting graphics. They feel like this. Really, no. Based on the selection of the packages, okay, that the packages will decide whether to get a graphics or command line. Get it? Get. But remember one thing, most of the time we will go with graphic installation only. Nowadays, we are not doing any text installation. You'll ask me why. Because when you go 15 years back, the minimum hardware that we used to have is, P4 processor with 512 MB RAM or 1 GB RAM, not more than that. Yes or no? Right? But nowadays, when you go to a real-time server, right, the minimum hardware is quad-core processor, and minimum RAM is 16 GB to 32 GB is the minimum RAM. And the storage capacity is minimum 1 TB nowadays, right? And you know how much hardware we need to install Linux operating system. In order to install Linux operating system with GUI, I'm talking, minimum 2 GB RAM is enough. We need 10 GB hard disk, and we need, if one processor is enough, we have, I'm talking about quad core. Quad is nothing but 4 into 4, 16 virtual processor it is going to act. In that, one virtual processor is enough to install the Red Hat Linux operating system, right? So whatever the hardware we are expecting to install Linux operating system, we have 10 times more than that, right? So that's the reason we are really not worried about what hardware is there on my machine, because okay, nowadays the servers or desktop or laptop, anything you take, it has a good hardware. Getting my point, right? So this is how exactly, right? So we are not really worried about which kind of installation we are doing, either it is a text or graphic mode, right? So whenever we just initiate the installation, we will go with GUI installation only. But we talk about method of installation, right? Give me 1 minute. Hello. So we are talking about method of installation here. Method of installation.
Installation. Okay.
So basically, when I just talk about method, as everyone know that we are going to install with the help of DVD, right? So it's a default thing, right? Whenever Red Hat is going to provide an operating system, definitely they provide your DVD, right? If you buy, otherwise, or ISO image. This is what basically, right? So this is very default method. Any newcomer, any fresher who are going to install operating system, they do like this only. If it is a virtual machine, they go with ISO. If it's a physical machine, they go with the DVD installation, right? But when it comes to real industry, we never use this DVD or ISO at all. Maybe we will use it. If it is one or two machine, definitely we will use it. If take an example, your client called and said that we have on some so and so location, we bought a 500 machines and we want all these 500 machines to be installed and configured with so and so customized configurations, right? Within a 1 week I need. So if you want to do installation with DVD or IS image, it will take 6 months. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the other way? So basically we depend on something called network installation. We will go for something called network installation. So you'll ask me what this network installation exactly, what exactly this network installation will happen, what we will do. So this network installation also we have two types, right? So this network installation is done with the help of, I'll tell you, network installation is performed using two methods. I mean, using a service or using a file called uh, kickstart configuration file we will call it. So you'll ask me in simple way we call it as a ks.file also or ks.cfg also we will say. In short form we will say this. Okay. We will call it as a ks.cfg. Ks stands for kickstart, cfg stands for configuration. So you'll ask me what is this kickstart configuration file contain, right? It contains all the pre and post installation steps, right? So
Okay.
what is this pre and post? I'll just tell you one thing. See, when you initiate an installation, last time we have seen the basic level installation. When you initiate the installation, you'll put the DVD, you'll make the first boot device as DVD, then the installation will start. You need to define the language and keyboard layout. Then you need to set the date and time. Then you need to set the installation selection, that is called software selection. Then you need to select the hard disk. Then you need to create a partition or logical volume. Then you need to configure the network, host name, IP address, gateway, DNS, right? If they ask you to configure some securities, you need to configure. Then you need to configure finally a normal user. Then after the reboot is happened, it you need to select the license agreement. Then you will get a login prompt. This is what we do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but this is all we are doing in an interactive way. Interactive means I'm sitting in front of some machine, in front of some screen, and I'm giving all these inputs to my operating system, right? So
Yeah.
whatever the inputs we are giving to this operating system, there is one program. We call it as a Anaconda.
Okay.
Anaconda. Okay, so Anaconda is a installation program,
Okay.
right? So whatever interactively we are giving inputs, right? We are giving it to this Anaconda installation program only,
Okay.
right? Getting it. So this is what happening. So now instead of giving interactively all these inputs to the Anaconda installation program, when we go for network installation, we will put all these steps into which file? Kickstart
ks.cfg.
ks.cfg file. And what Anaconda program will do, it will read this file, it takes all inputs automatically. This will become as unattended installation,
Okay. Okay.
right? Unattended is nothing but automatic. We will not attend. I'll just power on the remote machine. Then the installation
Okay.
goes on, right? This is
Okay.
what happened. But this unattended installation or this network installation is also two types here. Okay,
Okay.
network installation also two types. One is semi-automated. Another one is fully automated, right? So semi-automated means what we will do, we configure a ks.cfg file, okay, on a server, on the
Okay.
server, and we will tell the client that this file is there on the server.
Mm.
Getting my point? So how I will tell, I'll just try to show you that. Take an example. This is my server where we configure a ks.cfg file, right?
Mm.
So ks.cfg file, I'll tell you how to configure all these things later, right? So we configure ks.cfg file and we have a client here, right? It's a new client. It doesn't have any operating system. Remember that? Okay.
Mm.
So when I just go with this client, very simple. This is a client or a target, we can say. This is a server, right? So what you will do, you will go on to the client. But before we go on to the client, how do we share this ks.cfg file to the client, right? So
Mm.
when I just talk about sharing, when I just clearly talk about the sharing of this file, because on the network it should come to know, right? Yes or
Mm.
no?
Yes.
Okay, so what we will do, basically, you can use three services here. One is HTTP, another one is NFS, another one is FTP, right? Getting
Mm.
it? So you can use any of this one service to share this file. Getting it? But in
Yes.
the real industry, what I have seen is 70% of companies, they use what? HTTP only.
Mm.
Getting it? Why? I
Mm.
will tell you, there are many reasons. HTTP works on which port number? There is a single port called port number 80,
88.
right? But when I
Mm.
talk about NFS, there are nearly more than one port. So they say
Mm.
that it is not safe and secure. FTP port number 20 and 21. Like this we have. So there are many reasons. I'm just giving you one example at the port level. There are many reasons we have. That's the reason. So HTTP
Mm.
we are going to use. So you will go on to the client machine. What you will do, you will try to will boot the client using boot media. Remember that I am clearly saying boot media.
Mm.
Why I'm saying boot media, I will tell you 1 minute, right? See, let me go into E drive and ISO images. I go into 8. Okay, not here. I'll go into the 7. See, when I go into the 7, you see Redhat 7.6. What it is saying? Enterprise server DVD. It is saying. What is the size of the DVD? 4.18 GB. Can you see that? Right. And what is the size
Mm.
of this boot?
Mm.
The size of the boot is 545 MB, right? So what we will do is, remember one thing, DVD is
Yeah.
nothing but your entire operating system. Boot is nothing but just a bootable media. So what you will do here, you are going to boot your client with the bootable media, right? So as you boot from the bootable media and using this boot media will update or will provide the
Yeah.
path of the ks.cfg file on the server, right? So as you provide the path, then immediately this client looks into that kf.cfg file, and using that, the installation will be performed from this server to client. This is called semi-automated. Why? Because ultimately you need to go to the client, you need to put the boot media, you need to boot your machine and provide
Mm.
the path of the ks.cfg file on the server, then only the installation will happen. This is called semi-automated, right?
Okay. Mm.
Then you will ask
Mm.
me, what is fully automated? Fully automated means I'll just power on the client and leave the machine.
Okay.
Automatically installation will happen,
Mm.
right? But for doing fully automated, this single file is not sufficient. This single service is not sufficient. Why? Because
Mm.
to do this, there are many things need to be configured. What are that? You should have a DNS, you should have a DHCP, you should have a YAM repo, you should have a something called PXE boot environment, right?
Oh.
You should
Okay.
have a TFTP. So many things we need. That is a
Yes.
reason. So we will discuss in the last end of our training, we will discuss kickstart with automated installation,
Okay.
right? So this is basically, so in real time, we are going to use Kickstart with automatic installation only more,
Okay.
right? But
Mm.
see, it's a free tool. Kickstart is a free tool, right?
Mm.
So you can
Mm.
configure and you can use this. There's nothing wrong. But
Okay.
using Kickstart, you can only install the OS, right?
Oh,
If I want to
okay.
take the backup, that doesn't support, right? If you want
Mm.
to apply a patch
Mm.
on many machines, Kickstart doesn't support, right? If you
Mm.
want to
Mm.
install a particular package on 100 machines, doesn't support. That's the reason in real time, what they are using is they are using Red Hat satellite server. Did you heard about it? Red
Okay.
Hat satellite
Satellites.
server. Okay.
Mm.
So Red Hat satellite server. Okay. Red Hat satellite server they are using.
Mm.
So how this Red Hat satellite is not again free. Remember, it's a
Mm.
commercial tool. You need to buy, right?
Mm.
I take
Mm.
an example. Apart from this, we also have a free tool that is called Spacewalker, I think. Spacewalker, I think. Uh, 1 minute. Spacewalk for a server. What is the spacewalk? Mm, minute. Oh,
This
spacewalker.
Anaconda Kickstart and all is a separate software, is it?
Anaconda is not a separate. I mean, it's a separate package. That's it.
Oh, so it's
Separate package. It's a separate
already comes
program,
with
operating
okay.
system. So you can see
Oh, okay,
you
okay, okay.
you need to go with this spacewalk. You need to go with this
Mm.
spacewalk. Can you see this?
Mm.
So you have to use this spacewalk install on your machine. Using this spacewalk, you need to configure. You need to automate it, right?
Mm.
Getting it. But using spacewalk, what we can do is we can install, we can take backup, we can do patch management, we can do package management. All these things we can do, right? So this
Mm.
is what happens. I hope you are up to here. You understood.
Yeah.
Right? So this is all the things here. And the minimum hardware that we already discussed. And if you want to know whatever the hardware it is supported by Red Hat, you need to get into this link. I hope
Mm.
this link has been changed. Okay.
Mm.
And the layout, when I talk about layout here, basically when it comes to the Linux operating system, as per the
Mm.
Red Hat standard, this is the partitions they ask you to, it will automatically creates,
Mm.
right? Based on the disk capacity, I'm telling you. If you want to manually do the minimum, maximum hard disk root partition should be
Mm.
maximum 8. Boot it should be 250 MB, and home should be based on your
Mm.
requirement. Because I'm not saying it is 1000 MB because you're creating 1,000 users, then 1000 MB is not sufficient, right?
Mm.
Right? And swap should be always double the RAM, or it should be similar to the RAM size. Then this is only, I'm telling you, customized layout specified by the Red Hat. But this doesn't work for me, right? So what we will do, we want to go for something different. Take an example, my client is saying that you want to install SAP, Oracle, or some application or tools on my Linux machine, and he gives me a customized partitions or logical volumes. Based on that, you need to create,
Mm.
right? This is what. And whenever it comes to the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, the entire DVD size, what is the DVD size? The entire DVD size, I'll just try to show you when it comes to Red Hat 8. The DVD size is how much? Image size is 6.61 GB. Even this will not
Mm.
fit in your DVD. Getting my point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Mm.
like how many packages we have. What they did is Red Hat, they divided this entire 6.61 GB into two
Mm.
groups. Into two groups,
Okay.
I will tell you. All the packages into two groups, yeah. So you should know what is this two here is nothing but they divided this into base OS. Another one is app stream, right? So whenever
Mm.
you are installing operating system, most of the packages get installed from the base OS only,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
application stream contains the application related packages, services related packages that you later install. Getting it? So this is what happens. So I'll just show you that. Let me show you here practically. We will see because we are on Red Hat 8, right? I'll just try to mount my DVD, right? Slash dev slash SR0 slash MNT here, df-h. Yeah, DVD got mounted. Can you see this? Right? So as it mounted, I'll just go into the MNT here. I'll just say ls. Can you see this base OS? Can you see this app stream? Yes, ls-lhu run. So actually, because it's a directory, it doesn't give you entire packages. I'll just go to the base OS here. I'll just say ls. I'll just run ls-lh. There is a directory called packages, right? Here we have all the packages. You want to know how many packages we have? 1661 packages we have inside what? The base OS, right? And if I just go back and I'll just go with the app stream here, I'll just say ls cd packages. I'll just say how many packages we have? 4,988 packages we have. So 4,900 plus 1,600, around 5,000, about around 6,000 packages we are having. Okay, 6,000 plus only we have the packages. Getting it? So this is the thing. Still here any doubts? So basically what happens, very simple. Whenever you're installing Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, what they
Mm,
do is they have divided the entire software, the 6,000 plus packages, whatever it is there, they divide it
mm,
into something called software selection. What is that software selection? Minimum installation, server with GUI, infrastructure server, file and print server,
mm.
basic web server, like this they divided. So based on your
Oh,
requirement, you need to go, right? So, but whenever you're
mm,
installing Red Hat 8, by default, it will go with server with GUI. You say that I
mm.
don't want to go with server with GUI. It is always recommended to go with minimal
Basic.
installation.
Mm.
Okay, getting it. So it will
Mm.
install very few packages, 500 packages it will install. Later on, if you
Oh,
want to configure anything, you need to manually install the package and you need to install it, right?
okay. Mm.
Getting it. So this is all the things here. And we already discussed what is UEFI, what is BIOS, all right? So this is the
Mm.
basic things about the installation. So installation already we have seen. If you want me to show you again, I'll show you. Otherwise, no problem. Is there any doubt here? Let me know. Tomorrow I'll show you the logs. If you want installation, I'll show you now. Otherwise, we will discuss installation tomorrow and I'll show you the logs and then we will go with device naming convention.
Okay.
Right?
Mm.
So that's the thing. So I'll update you this link. Today's and yesterday's link I will update you after this session once it gets okay. And then based on that tomorrow same time we are going to meet. Right?
Okay. Oh,
Okay, fine.
tomorrow actually I have office. Can we have on
Tomorrow.
Sunday? Yeah. If you
Sunday. Okay, I'll update you. Sunday means actually I don't know what will be my plan on Sunday. We will have it, but I will update the timings.
okay.
Hmm? Most probably we will do same time only. If any change, I will update
Okay. Okay.
you. Right. Hmm. Done.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You just share